Hey, my name is Sarah, and today I've got a stretchy and strengthening yoga flow that's going to lead us up into headstand. We'll also focus on a few other inversions, so let's go ahead and get started. Starting in a seat, let's take a few spinal circles. So you're just going to bring one heel in towards your midline and then stack your other foot or stagger your foot right in front. Okay, we can use our palms on our knees for a little bit of leverage, and then just start by smoothing your chest forward as you inhale. And then as you exhale, we round and scoop the spine, finding some flexion. Let's do that again. Inhale to push your chest forward. Exhale to round. Do that one more time, taking your time. And then we'll reverse directions. Inhale, smooth your chest. Exhale to round. Let's take one more. And rolling up through center, let's switch sides. Whatever foot is in front, we're going to bring that in towards your midline. Stagger your opposite foot right in front. You can use your hands on your thighs or your knees as leverage. And whenever you're ready, same thing. It's an inhale to push your chest forward and an exhale to round. And then reversing your circle if you haven't already. And we'll take one more. And then coming up through center, making our way to all fours. Plant your palms, wrist underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And we're just going to snake the spine a little bit. So you're just going to shift your hips one way and then go ahead, shift them the other way. Maybe finding an inhale. Oh, maybe finding an inhale one way and an exhale the other. So it's kind of like you're a dog wagging your tail. You're a Morty, right, Morty? A dog or a Zoe wagging your tail here. Good. We could take a few more organic spinal movements. So maybe you want to come back to those cat-cows. Or maybe you would like to do a circle with your belly here. So just find some movement to warm up your spine and your upper body. Maybe getting any kinks out of your neck. You can incorporate some neck circles if you like. And then we're going to take this to our downward facing dog. So let's turn out the palms just a tad, walking your palms forward, tuck your toes, lift your hips. So your elbows are soft, your head heavy. You can bend your knees as much as you like, maybe pedaling it out for a moment here. And we're going to take it to three-legged dog. So drop your left heel and then the right leg lifts. We're going to open up your hip so you can bend into that top knee, bringing your heel towards your glute. And then square out your hips once more. It's a crescent lunge. So step your foot forward and then reach your arms up. Nice hip flexor stretch here. We're going to lower it down to our runner's lunge. And from here we take a runner's lunge twist. So you're going to plant the left palm and then right fingertips reach. And then from here, lower your back knee and we'll sweep that arm back, maybe coming into a quad stretch. So maybe your toes lift up as you bend into your knee to meet your hand, opening up through your chest and shoulder. Okay, and if you're not there yet, if you're getting knee pain, we just lower back down. So listen to your body, modify as you need, no need to hurt yourself. And then from here, it's a skandasana. So we're gonna release that foot. You're gonna face the front edge of your mat once again, and then you're going to bend. Well, your knee's already bent actually, but we're gonna face the long edge of your mat. Okay, so I started on my opposite foot, so hopefully I should be mirroring you right now. But we're facing the long edge of your mat. Your right knee is bent and your heel can either be lifted or it's down. We're getting a nice deep stretch in your hamstring, even a little bit into your adductor. Now I'm going to use my palms to walk through center and to take this to the other side, skandasana. Take a few deep breaths here. And then we walk back to the top edge of your mat, three-legged dog. So lift your right leg up right away. From here, we're gonna keep that leg up as we come into our chaturanga. So go ahead, shift your hips forward, keeping the leg lifted. Hug your elbows in, lower down with control. And then we can lower that leg, pushing up to a cobra pose. Exhaling to lower your chest. Let's move through our plank and up into your downward facing dog. Zoe. Okay, nice job. So we're gonna take this to side two. So into our three-legged dog, your left leg lifts this time. We open up through your hip, bending that top knee, bringing your heel a little bit closer towards your glute. And just take another breath here. We'll square at the hips and then step it forward, crescent lunge, reach your arms up. Runner's lunge, lower down, frame your foot. Runner's lunge, twist, plant your right palm, left fingertips up. So getting a nice rotation in your thoracic spine. From here, we can lower the back knee, sweep your arm back, and maybe that back foot begins to lift to reach towards your palm. Opening up through your chest. And from here, we come to our skandasana. So start by releasing your foot, facing forward again, and then we're gonna face the long edge of your mat, keeping your left knee bent and lengthening through your right leg. Let's walk our fingers through center to take it to side two. So either with that heel, that right heel down or lifted. And we'll walk through to the top edge of your mat again, facing forward, three-legged dog, left leg lifts. From here, option to keep that leg up as we chaturanga. We will shift our weight forward, coming to the ball of your foot and lower with control. Woo! Lifting up, cobra pose. Exhale, release. Moving through your plank and up into your downward facing dog. From here, we're gonna walk the palms back towards the back edge of your mat, coming into a forward fold. And we're just taking a few breaths here. So your feet are hip width and parallel. Your knees are soft Nice passive stretch in the upper body and spine. And from here, we walk it back out to your plank. So take your time here, walking it out to high plank. And then we lower your knees, half plank. Okay, we're gonna do a push-up here, half push-up, but continue to hug your elbows in. We lower down, push up, and then you're taking it to a child's pose. So we're gonna do that a few times. So lifting up, again, push up, and then child's pose. So what we're doing here, let's just continue on. You can just take a few in your own time, but we're firing up the core and waking up the abs further, just so that they're readily available to us as we make our way into headstand. Your core is really the foundations of headstand, so we want to make sure that they're ready to go once we come into that posture. Okay, from here, we're coming to dolphin pose. So let's go ahead, lift back to your all fours. We're gonna plant the forearms down to the mat. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. Now we're walking our feet a little bit closer towards your elbows. And then we just walk them right back out to plank. Okay, we're gonna do that a few times. Just take this in your own time. It's walking in towards your elbows, bringing your head, the crown of your head towards the mat. And then we walk it back out. I like to take little breaks in between because my arms tend to tire quickly in dolphin. So take your time here. Let's do one more. Good, child's pose. Let's take an extended child's pose. So go ahead, bring your knees wide, and then walk your hands forward, relaxing your head. We're gonna take about 5 breaths here. And we're gonna lift back up. We're gonna make our way into some headstand practice. So let's lift back up to all fours. I'm going to interlace my fingers, and then I like to tuck my pinky inside so that I can have a more stable base through the outer edges of my hands. Okay, so I've tucked my pinky, I'm pushing my palms down. My elbows are just a few inches apart, creating this triangle, a little space for the crown of my head to go. Okay, we're gonna do it in steps, so we won't quite come right into the headstand yet. Let's start by tucking your toes. I've got a little bit of protraction of my shoulders as I press into my base, and then lift your hips. Begin to walk your feet in towards your elbows, maybe lowering the crown of your head to the mat, getting used to having a little bit of pressure there. Okay, but it's mostly the weights in your forearms. Okay, so not too much weight onto your head. And then we're gonna walk it back out. Take a child's pose. And we're gonna practice that again. So setting up my foundations, protracting my shoulders, hugging your abs in, making sure your abs are on for this. As you lift your hips and begin to walk your feet closer, moving your eye line towards the back edge of your mat. Maybe this time we begin to rock onto the toes so that we can feel that little bit of weight being transferred into your head and forearms. And then when you get tired, we just walk it back out again. Take a child's pose. Now we can take another round of that. Or if you want to begin to lift your legs, we'll set up just the same way. Walking it in. And we're beginning to put so much weight into the arms that your hips are now shifting right over the crown of your head. And then from here, we may begin to hug one knee and then the other. And then coming back out of it, taking your child's pose. So take it in steps. If you want to come back to just hugging your knees or rocking your weight forward, you just continue to practice there. If you're ready to come into the full posture, extending your legs at the top, we'll take it together. So find your foundations first, setting it up. Deep breathing. Engage your core here as we lift on up. Walking your feet in close, maybe beginning to hug your knees, and then maybe beginning to straighten out. Continue to breathe. And then coming down with control. Woo. And then child's pose. Okay, if you're a little bit further along in your inversion practice and you'd like to try out a pike headstand with me, this one can be really fun, and this one really does force you to use your abdominals. So basically a pike would be, we keep our legs straight and then we lift up from our headstand from there instead of hugging your knees in towards your chest first. So let's try this together. Same setup, forearms down, interlace, find that stable foundation. Again, I like to tuck my pinky, little protraction of your shoulders, and I'm bracing my abs here. Push down into your forearms. Again, legs are straight. And then when you're ready, it's an exhale to lift your legs. Continuing to breathe. And then lowering down. Whenever you're ready, meet me in a child's pose. Whatever variation you like can be extended, or maybe you keep your backs of your hands to the mat. And we're going to take 5 deep breaths here. Allow the blood to return back down away from your head and just breathe. And when you're ready, We're gonna walk the palms back nice and slowly here. And we're gonna make our way to our backs. So go ahead, flip around. Let's start by hugging your knees to your chest. And we're gonna come to a shoulder stand next. I'm gonna take out my clip. I like to start this by lifting my hips and kind of shimmying my arms underneath, bringing my hips to the backs of my hands. I'm gonna hug my knees up and then use this momentum of my knees to begin to lift on up. And then I can lift my palms from here to support my low back. If this is giving you any pain in your neck or like upper body, shoulders, neck area, please just skip it. Okay, we're only going to be here a few moments. Let's just take a few breaths. If you'd like to take just a forward fold or take another stretch in place, that is totally fine. We're transitioning to plow pose. So bend into your knees and then we can allow them to fall towards the back edge of your mat and then maybe extend the legs, bringing your toes down. And we just take a few breaths here. Even for me right now, I'm starting to feel a little pressure in my neck, so I'm actually going to come out of it or just decrease or reduce the range I'm in. Okay, so listen to your body. It's really not worth it to hurt yourself to get into like a fancy posture. So let's lower down slowly whenever you're ready. Woo. And then hug your knees to your chest. Taking the last few stretches before we close it out. Let's bring our legs to cow face pose. I'm going to cross my right leg over my left, kind of stacking my knees, kicking my toes out side to side, and then grabbing the outer edges of my feet and flexing my feet. I'm just finding a little sway here, a little rock side to side. And you've got the option to take a twist here. So let's go ahead and release the feet. We'll keep the knees stacked and then either cactusing your arms or bringing them out wide. We're gonna allow the knees to fall over towards the left side of your mat as you shift your gaze over your right shoulder. And let's come back through center. And we'll switch our legs. Left leg crosses over the right. Kick your feet out side to side, grabbing the outer edges of your feet in our cow face pose. Finding a little sway. And if you can't reach the outer edges of your feet, we can always grab your ankles or your shins. Breathing into your left hip. And then option to come into your twist. Okay, so if you even want to create a little bit more space for your twist, you can shift your hips over towards the left side of your mat before allowing your legs to fall over to the right. Again, I'm cactusing my arms, or you can just extend them long into more of a T shape. And letting that left shoulder be nice and heavy towards the mat. we're gonna roll back to center and finish up just a few moments in Shavasana. So when you're ready to come into stillness, let's extend your legs long. You can relax your arms to your sides, or maybe one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. And we'll take a few moments to just allow the nutrients of our movement, of our inversions, to settle in, to assimilate with the body. And as you're ready, we'll begin to reawaken. So let's take any last movements you need. Maybe it's a full body stretch. Maybe crossing one ankle over the other. Taking another twist, or just any organic movement that feels good before we flip on over to your side. And use your hands to help you come to a seat. And we're gonna close it out here. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope this video was helpful on your inversion journey. Please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, and I will see you soon in my next video. Namaste.